Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So, Candace Owens got fired from her job. Why? Because they say it's anti-Semitic. She's been anti-Semitic and all that. Why did that happen? Because she actually spoke out against what is going on, how the Jewish, how they've been using their power to do so many horrible things and the rest of it. So she spoke on it and they said it is anti-Semitic. As we speak right now, she lost her job. Now let's get into this. Now, all this period that Candace Owens has really been very unfair to Black community and all that. Nothing ever happened to her job. Her job has been waxing and all that. And now one thing with all these conservatives is that they think that because they work with colored people, for that reason that they are going to spread them, not knowing that they will still do to you the same thing they do to people that look like me when they get the chance to do it. And now she is saying all this. See, am I saying what she said is absolutely correct? She never lied about what they are doing and how they are treating other people and all that. She actually spoke the truth, and that is something that like I keep saying, sometimes I don't even know that we agree with Candace Owens, but I absolutely agree with what she did and what she said and all that. But I also want her to sit back and think about all the horrible things she has done to Black community, and they let her be. But then just to speak about the thing going on in the other community, they let her go. Let's get into this video.
So Candace Owens has now been let go by the Daily Wire, and this is a perfect example of what happens if you're in mainstream media and you try to criticize Israel. You risk losing your job and being smeared by the rest of corporate media. Look at this disgusting article from the Rolling Stone. Candace Owens is out at the Daily Wire after months of railing against Jewish people. Even though Candace Owens has repeatedly said that she has no problem with Jewish people, her criticism is of the Israeli state, which has taken the lives of 30,000 people and 13,000 children in the last 150 days. Or check out this piece of trash article from the Jeff Bezos-owned Washington Post. Candace Owens departs Ben Shapiro's website after anti-Semitic commentary. Apparently, it's anti-Semitic to say that Israel shouldn't bomb 13,000 little kids. According to Ben Shapiro and the Zionist army and corporate media, criticism of Israel is completely off limits. And I've never been any kind of fan of Candace Owens, but her coverage of Israel has been pretty good comparatively to the rest of corporate media. She had Norman Finkelstein on her show, and Norman said, look, Israel's taken the lives of over 10,000 children. You're an expecting mother. How would you feel if another country was doing that to your child? And you could tell that really affected Candace. After this interview, she wasn't afraid to take a stand against Israel's indiscriminate bombing campaigns. And now she's being forced out of corporate media and smeared as an anti-Semite by clowns like this who would never dare to buck the establishment narrative. If you still have a job in corporate media, it's because you're a liar who has no spine and will say whatever the gazillionaires want you to say. Candace Owens stopped being that person, so the billionaires stopped paying her.
Candace Owens, yep, they let her go. And the straw that broke the camel's back was anti-Semitic comments, right? Anti-Semitic comments. So we all know Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens both run the Daily Wire. So they was pissed off because Candace went on Fresh and Fit, and every time they mentioned Ben Shapiro and his wife, Candace would hit the cha-ching button. And y'all already know what the fuck that means. For once, I'm not mad. What the fuck is going on in March? I'm not mad at Candace Owens. They let her go because she wasn't feeding into the BS between I and G, between J and P. So they told her she had to get the fuck on. Now, Daily Wire has not put out anything, but we all know that's what the reason. You can't be a part of conservative Republicans and be against what Israel is doing to Palestine. You just can't do that. How dare you? Personally, I think they made a mistake. They just pissed off one of these type of women. A woman who was on your side. A woman who knows all your little secrets. A Black woman who is very intelligent and can really fuck up a crowd if she wants. Y'all just gave her full carte blanche to shit on y'all every chance you get. And she is about to drag the Conservative Party, the Republican Party, Daily Wire, everybody and their mama about to go down. And she gonna start her own station. She gonna start her own podcast. Watch this. They made an enemy out of a woman who was basically their sounding board for Black people. But baby, you done messed up. You done messed up. All in all, I want to see who Daily Wire is going to replace Candace Owens with. I'm curious to see Ben Shapiro's thoughts. And what do y'all think? Do y'all think this was a rightful fire, or do y'all think they are on some BS? Y'all, the Daily Wire.
Breaking news, everyone. This isn't no surprise. the Daily Wire has basically departed ways with Candace Owens because she has been so outspoken about being, pro-America and basically wanting to be a isolationist when it comes to sending money to our taxpaying dollars to a foreign country, and not being blind that a foreign country actually controls America. And so, this is why this is happening right now. And this is going to continue to happen. I mean, many of these influencers that are sick of, being told to be saying one thing or the other, or they will be ousted out, or even basically protecting themselves from people like this. Rabbi Sh0ck, who has been smearing her and calling her names, which I'm not going to say, is very, very evident why they have departed ways with Candace Owens. And especially with the spat between Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro, I just knew this wasn't going to last long because the Daily Wire is mostly owned by Jews. And when you are going against their narrative, they will oust you out. It's just a matter of time. Just like they did to Morgan Ariel. Like I talked about this a couple months ago, how TPUSA really literally expelled her for not being pro-Israel and not being pro-Zionist, and actually was talking about the devastation of the Palestinian people in Gaza and children being murdered, and how these people will turn a blind eye to that and be like, pro-Israel, you have to be on pro-Israel side or you can't be a part of our club. They expelled her from TPUSA. And this is going to keep happening. You're going to see more influencers, big people who are tired of being like the little puppets for these people. And everyone got mad at me when I exposed what happened with Morgan Ariel and tried to say, oh my God, if Jewish people really had so much power, don't you think Candace Owens would be, fired, or they would have parted ways with Candace Owens by now? Well, a couple months later, look what happens. I'm not dumb. I'm very educated on a lot of things that you're ignorant on. Just because you don't want to seem like the bad person for stating facts, I would be your martyr. I will. I don't care about anyone's feelings. I'm here to state facts, and I know what's going on. America is controlled by a foreign country, and some of those people from that foreign country is controlling America to its destruction. And a lot of the media is also controlled by these people as well. It's time for you guys to wake up, smell the coffee. I'm happy to be the person to be on the chopping block like I always have been from the very beginning. I am an American isolationist. I believe we should be putting America first and not a foreign country first. I think it's sad what's happening to the innocent Palestinians, just like I felt very, very sad what happened to the innocent Israelis that were also killed on October 7th. But that does not mean that I should be putting either or of those countries or whatever have you. Oh, well, Gaza's basically not a country. It's basically a open-air prison. I don't believe putting neither of those first. I don't. I believe putting America first, and that we should have America's best interests at hand. And that's it. And that's basically her. Me and her have the same type of thinking on this, on foreign policy. That's my thoughts when it comes to foreign policy. It does, and these people don't like that, and that's why they want to ban TikTok. But anyways, I'm gone because the narrative is slowly being taken down.
So Candace Owens has now been let go by the Daily Wire. This is a perfect example of what...
But if you look at the video that she has said, she didn't say anything wrong against... See, this is the problem with them. They show their power. And this is the thing that kind of sometimes you have to put your submission. They control all the corporations when it comes to social media. And I'm referring from Google to Apple on this app, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. And if you call out their names, it's okay. They can call out your names. They can say racist things. They can come on this app and do it. They have mediators that will basically come and try to infiltrate your thing. Now, if you, the thing is, Candace has stepped on a lot of toes of a lot of community. But you see, in our community, some of us will support and some of us will not support. That's the difference between us. Okay, it's either forgive or forget, or don't forgive and don't forget at all. With them, they seek vengeance. Okay, I don't know how they can say that they are the chosen ones, because let me tell you something, God is the only chosen one. And if God can forgive multiple things that we said and do, how you think that they have to be the one who has to make the selection? I mean, go figure, you know? Because if you're a person who's a Christian, that's what she is, and she pretty much seeing certain things are happening and seeing the lines, but that's what they do. And I'm telling you, that's what they do. Even I remember one time I made a segment on how they coming into the neighborhood and forcing people to sell. And I also come in the neighborhood and I also said that not only they do that, sometimes they check to see if people, they don't care about the liens of your utility bills or the liens of your mortgage. If they know that your house is paid off and you're being consistent with it, but if you're an elderly person, they will make people from the insurance agency or social worker to come and stop and check on you and check on your house and stuff, because majority of them own nursing homes. And they have insurance on nursing homes and even insurance and so forth. And they know you have a residential property. They will try to want to take away, and they have connections in the courthouses because they have friends of a friend, even with the banking system, to try to find ways to take away your houses. Yes, and I have seen it, okay? And situations where people had to go to court and they had to fight for it. And even when you go to court and fight for it and you have your receipts, they still try to find ways to eliminate you because they're connected to the system. And when I said that, honey, they put me on community guideline, but I was telling the truth. I was telling the truth. I said what they're doing in Palestine right now, when they're trying to put those people underneath the bus and trying to alienate and wipe them out. Because I haven't seen people that look like us who claim that they are part of the community of whether Christianity, Judaism, or Muslim. I mostly see them tarnishing the Palestinians. And even when the United States claim that they're going to kind of move away from it and back away, which I don't believe, okay? Because election time, they're trying to be nice to us, but I don't believe. The head leader of Israel stated that he don't care. He's still going to find some ways to still continue on what he was doing. And in matter of fact, I saw in a news article where they pretty much, and they can give publications to show their hate, all right? Where he pretty much saying he's giving the United States a list of weapons that they need. Okay, go check it out. Google it up and you'll see it. But she came out, and this happened last year. This incident took place last year. I showed you the article. It was sometime in 2003 because she was hired from the Daily News, I believe, which was a sponsorship. So it was okay for her to make a campaign speech, but you see, she should have used her head. If she was an educated woman and smart enough, she should have said, no, I'm not doing that because that's going against the grain of my people. I'm not going to bash Black Lives Matter. I'm not going to bash the commentators of my people. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make it the same way how I would say certain things to my people to improve, and the same things how you need to improve. But you see, there's a difference between people like her versus many other people who have a platform. And if you have a company that pretty much wants to use you as leverage to kind of derail your own people, then that's a wake-up call that chances are they're going to do the same thing to you for any little thing you do. Listen, I used to work with them in the hospital, and they were in charge of everything. And honestly, when they lie, and they will have their people come against you, even though you have your truth. So when I saw Charlemagne and the people from the Breakfast Club invited her, but Joe invited her first to basically wanted her to speak and wanted to talk clearly so people can get to know who she is and what really happened in that segment. But he didn't really talk about, he just talked about some issues that was on her mind that she really wanted to say or so forth. But during that time, she was already terminated in 2000, but they made it official because they linked it everywhere on Twitter, Instagram, blogger news, newspaper articles, all kind of stuff. The recent one that I saw was the one on 2023. Okay, so when this guy said that he got the information from Rolling Stone, that means they just sent it like 10 minutes or probably 2 hours ago. But like I said, our African American community, stop selling out yourself. To the lady that did not vote for ceasefire, you don't think they're going to try to put you underneath the bus? For Judge Clarence Thomas, who went against several topics that could have been the equal rights for people and even for your own self as blacks, you don't think they're going to put you underneath the bus? And many other people, for the senator that was saying that, oh, we should not fight for reparations, and you know, reparations is the reparations of us being free, then you don't think they're going to put you underneath the bus? So for all of y'all getting these sponsorships, these advocates, this money marching and everything, now you see the money is not worth it. Now you see selling out yourself and making yourself look stupid. And it's mostly people who are educated. They do this too. Not the people that's on the street and don't really know nothing. Well, some of them, because we have one called Charleston White. You know, even sometimes he's coming out with some things that's factual, but he's another one too, you know. But the list goes on. Stop going against each other for these type of people, because you see, they're not an advocate for you. Soon as you turn around and say something honestly, because if you look at her video, she didn't say anything wrong. There must be a God for me to turn around and defend Candace Owens, because honestly, I am not a person that's against our people. And for me to go and say and defend her, hell must be really frozen, because I'm not like that.
Today, the Israel lobby has officially done exactly what we anticipated. The Daily Wire has officially fired Candace Owens, but the most insane part, it's like they're all working together to brand her as anti-Semitic. She knew this was coming as well. Take a listen to this.
I want to be clear to you guys. I'm going to be honest with you because everybody's noticing it. Every single political commentator in America, every single one of them knows this. That if you do not step out and say things that are radically pro-Israel, or if you are too quiet on certain narratives and they want you to be radically pro-Israel, you can lose everything. That's truth. That is a fact. I'm not feeling like I need to hide from that anymore, because, or be afraid to say it, rather, is a better way to say it, because I've endured this for years. I'm just at the end of my rope. I have given so much rope here, and I am just done with it. Every person that you are a fan of, they know this. Every person that you line up to go here speak, they know this. Again, it's not even on the basis of what you say. It can sometimes be on the basis of what you don't say. That an entire mob will assemble. They'll write piece after piece after piece until you subjugate. If you don't subjugate, the bounty grows larger. So yes, there was a large bounty on my head for the crime of refusing to suddenly hate Muslims and to condone Muslims getting bombed following October 7th. Everybody can see that.
This is very breaking. We don't have all the information yet. I'm sure much more will come out, but Candace Owens has left the Daily Wire. This was literally the only announcement, and then something by Candace. I'll show you hers in just a moment. So I don't know who initiated the final break, but I will say this has been coming for a while, and whatever disagreements they had, if they had any before, I think that it really started with her relationship with Kanye West and the whole controversy around Kanye and some of his comments. And it accelerated with Candace questioning more of the pro-Israel narrative. And this is Jeremy Boring. He's the CEO of the Daily Wire. He says Daily Wire and Candace have ended the relationship. That's all he said. And here is Candace. The rumors are true. I am finally free. If you would like to support my work, that's her announcement. There will be many more coming. This was 3 months ago, where Candace and Ben Shapiro were publicly spatting on Twitter, where he actually said, by all means quit. And my personal thoughts about Candace and the Daily Wire, however you feel about either, I think Candace is too big for the Daily Wire, and this is going to be better for her. She's trending almost every single week. She's a force not only politically, but culturally. And I don't even agree with her all the time, but you have to admit that that's true. I don't even agree with all of the questioning she had around Israel-Palestine. But she is a person that questions, if you know about her and her history and how she describes herself, and you can't tell her not to question something. Anyway, those are all of the things that we know so far, but I think it was pretty clear after the documentary came out, her BLM documentary and all the controversy around that, it was pretty clear it wasn't really a good fit, so I think both will be better off. Anyhow, those are all the things right now.
Candace Owens and the Daily Wire have severed their relationship. She's been fired over alleged anti-Semitism. Now, the Daily Wire has not given an official reason. However, sources with direct knowledge told TMZ that Candace and Ben Shapiro have been feuding for months, very publicly. They had opposing views on the Israel-Gaza conflict. The straw that broke the camel's back was Candace's March 8th appearance on the Fresh and Fit podcast, allegedly. The hosts of the Fresh and Fit podcast were talking about the rift between Candace and Ben Shapiro. But every time Ben and his wife was mentioned, a ching-ching sound effect would sound off. Several stories across the internet have said that the ching-ching sound effect is considered to be anti-Semitic in nature. While on this podcast, Candace didn't say anything negative about Ben, but I guess the gripe is she didn't do anything to defend Ben every time this sound effect was played. According to TMZ, it is unclear if Candace even heard the sound effect. According to TMZ, the Daily Wire execs have said they had several conversations with Candace just to understand her position, because their goal was not to censor her. But they felt that the podcast incident had crossed the line. Additionally, it is said that Ben Shapiro had nothing to do with Candace's termination because he does not have the power to do so. Candace was also a guest on a Breakfast Club Thursday. She shared that she's not anti-Semitic, she's simply against all forms of genocide. Now, Candace did confirm her departure on X and said she was finally free and she will not be silenced. Based on everything that I've been listening to and reading, I'm pretty confident that we have not heard the last of this.
Candace Owens lost her job at the Daily Wire because she criticized the money. You're never supposed to criticize the money. You can criticize anybody in this country. You can criticize white people. You can criticize Hispanic people. You can criticize migrants, black people, ghetto people, rich people. But there's a specific group of people who I'll just refer to as the money that you're never supposed to criticize. Do y'all remember when Kanye West criticized the money? Y'all remember how the money threatened to lobotomize him? And he probably did. I don't know if y'all seen him lately. He got that 1,000-yard stare. Got his wife around here walking around with her titties out and shit. It's crazy. Candace Owens criticized the money. And I'm just talking about her bosses at the Daily Wire, even though a couple of her bosses are the money. So I'm surprised it even took this long to get rid of her. But she recently did an interview that she didn't back down. Oh no, she didn't. She didn't gaslight herself. She didn't sit here and try to pretend like what is happening in the Middle East isn't happening. She went right at these guys, at the money. Right at the money. Brave shit. And I knew it. I knew they were going to take her down. I knew they were going to take her out off the air and all of that. So a lot of people saying, that's why she's been doing this rebranding. She's been talking to the black community recently and da-da-da-da. She's trying to get in good. She's always been talking to the black community since she's been out. Since, like, as long as Candace Owens has been Candace Owens, she's always talked to the black community. It may not have been what people in the black community has always wanted to hear. It may not be what people in the black community agree with. You know what I'm saying? Or condone. I'm not even saying that people should automatically support Candace Owens, but just know that when you criticize the money, even if the money's committing genocide, you know, and the money is siphoning itself over into the Middle East, taken out of your mouth. You understand what I'm saying? Taken from your kids' futures in order to bomb other kids so that the money can have some beachfront property in the middle of the desert and drive other people into the wind. But when you say that, when you criticize that, when you see it with your own eyes and you criticize it and use any journalistic integrity, people like Ben Shapiro will call you a disgrace. A disgrace. So now Candace Owens is an independent journalist. And if she's gonna put some stuff up, that's the beauty of the internet, and that's why they want to control everything, especially like apps like this. Because now
she can go off and she can still be supported by people like myself who will support her. And I know there's a lot of people on here that are saying, I'm not gonna ever support her. She's a con and this and whatever you want to call her. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't agree with her. But in this particular instance, in that agreement, we look at what's going on. Like I said, when Kanye West criticized the money, everybody came out and said, you can't criticize him. You can criticize us. As long as Candace is criticizing us in our community, fine, you can say whatever. She can criticize hoes. She can criticize, like I say, the migrants. She can criticize all that. But when you criticize the money, if you even say that the money's the money, you're anti. Anti what? Anti. You just anti. So, can't criticize the money. But to Candace Owens, like I say, I'm going to support Candace Owens regardless. And yeah, be careful when you criticize the money because you got a lot to lose. And they're not going to make this easy for her. Look at Kanye. He's been back in Balenciaga a few times with his half-naked wife.
This. Girl, I love this for you. Now don't go out there playing the victim. You knew what you were getting into when you did it. When you lay down with dogs, baby, rise up with fleas. Good luck on the job.
So this is all I got from this. And yeah, you know one thing, let me tell you something. There is nothing wrong with what she did, criticizing them, right? Because, I mean, she spoke the truth, her truth, right? But now let me tell you this. Candace Owens has really been on black people's butt, like, forever, criticizing black community, saying so many negative things about black community and all of that. And now, and all this while that she has been criticizing black people and all that, it's been okay with them. They are not fighting. They are not having any war. There is no problem with her saying some nasty things about black people. Just because she criticized them, she lost her job. Now, there are some things we do that we get away with in black community, but we don't get away with it with other communities. I hope you understand where I am going to. I mean, look at all these years. They support her saying so many negative things about black people, being crazy, being mean, saying so many mean things. See, she is a very smart person. Of all the people that I see around trying to be anti-black and all that, all these conservatives that I see, among Sh0ck and the rest of them, among all of them, Candace Owens is the smartest, right? But still, I am not a huge fan of her, but sometimes I am like, I never knew that I am like, ever going to agree with Candace Owens and all that. You all know AIPAC or the Jewish have so many, they control the media a whole lot, and they have so many, I don't know, but they have a lot of power when it comes to media and the rest of it. When it comes to entertainment and the rest of it, like they are really very powerful. So it is okay it is not okay to criticize them, but it is okay to criticize us, right? And did she lie? She actually did not lie. Everything she said is actually truth. Like, how do you people go around doing all the things you do around in other communities, what they are doing in Palestine, and they think they can get away with it because it is them, because like, they are huge, because they are rich and can bribe their way out and all that. Innocent kids being like, dying, and so many genocide going on in Congo and other places, right? And they are still part of the people. I mean, they all knew what, like, all this going, because like, when you look at all the places that are having G0t and all that, US, Israel, and the rest of the world, some of them, Western world, are also part of the problem why all these things are happening, right? So I do not blame her, and I am in support that she actually spoke against, because like, you cannot have kids or have family, and you are seeing all the horrible things going on there, and you are trying to side with them. I love the fact that she spoke out, but I want her to also sit back in her own closet and think about all the horrible things she has said about black community, that nobody, like, nobody ever condemned or tried to cancel her career and all that. But just a minute that she spoke against them, that is the end of her job. So now you understand this. See, if they can, this is what they've been doing to your community. They have been doing this to us. They haven't been nice to black people, people that look like me, and other people, right? And you think that they are going to spare you. Like, really? Are you okay? You think they are ever going to spare you? Not even for a minute. They aren't ever going to spare you. Because I keep telling them, because you think you walk with them, you surround yourself with them and all of that. No. They will still do you the same thing they do to us when they get the chance to do it. And when you stop being in support of them, they will still do the same thing they do to us. So you tell yourself the truth. I mean, stay back in your closet and tell yourself the truth. That's all I have to say. Let me know what you all think in the comment section, and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.